Hi everyone, it's me, Krylios, Team Rayceen Productions MC and producer. And joining me is the fabulous mother of all, Rayceen Pendarvis.
Hi, everybody. Greetings and salutations.
Yes, honey. Hey, Rayceen, how are you?
I am wonderful. We are in Pride season. Happy Pride.
Happy Pride, happy Pride. And we also have some fabulous guests here with us from HeadCount. And we're so happy to have them here. I'll give them the opportunity to introduce themselves.
I'll go ahead and start. Hi, everyone. My name is Miranda. My pronouns are they, them. And I manage the Vote with Pride vertical at HeadCount. We're all about making sure that the LGBTQ community has the tools that they need to vote, register to vote, and be able to cast their ballot safely. And I'll pass it over to you, Chris.
And I'm Chris, and I'm the DC rep that's at most of the Ask Rayceen shows where they're in the corner or virtual corners last year. Ready to register everybody to vote.
Thank you. And thank you so much for being here, Miranda. Great to have you on the channel. And welcome back, Chris. Always great to have you here. So let's jump right into it. Tell us about this year's Vote with Pride campaign. And I spoke with Chris a little bit about this. So I want to hear about it from you, Miranda. Vote with Pride this year. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, so Vote with Pride, of course, is creating as many resources as possible for LGBTQ people to vote safely. And we know that trans and non-binary people who are a part of the LGBTQ community are facing significant barriers in accessing the tools that they need to be able to vote safely. So we launched a campaign in partnership with Vote Riders, an organization specializing in voter ID called Trans People Vote. And it's specifically to make sure that trans and non-binary people are able to lower those barriers in accessing the identification that they need to register to vote and to vote safely. So there are sort of two competing experiences and laws that make it really difficult for trans and non-binary people to vote. You have voter ID laws. Voter ID laws are in 36 states. It means essentially that voters have to present some type of acceptable identification to confirm their identity before they cast their ballot. In 24 states, there are states that have restrictive identification requirements that impede trans and non-binary people from legally changing their name or updating the gender marker on their driver's license or birth certificate. And this can range from requirements to publish your name change in newspapers that can be thousands of dollars, to limitations to update your gender marker on your driver's license or birth certificate, to have to actually prove proof of surgery in order to go through that process, which can be really invalidating and really difficult to move through all of these restrictive identification requirements. 22 states have both of these types of barriers, both restrictive identification requirements and voter ID laws, meaning that it can be really difficult as a trans person to get the identification needed to be able to cast your ballot in a way that's affirming of your identity. On top of all that, we know that 25% of trans people report verbal harassment as a result of showing an ID with a name or gender that didn't match their gender presentation. So this is a safety issue. If you have an identification that doesn't match your actual name and gender marker, and you have to show that at the polls, it's a very real possibility that you'll experience some sort of discrimination, experience verbal or physical harassment, and not be able to cast your ballot, or be challenged that that ID actually is your identity and not be allowed to cast your vote at all. So what we're working to do at HeadCount through Vote with Pride in partnership with Vote Riders is to lower those barriers and make it really, really easy as possible for folks to navigate that very complex system of changing your identification so that you're able to vote without all these barriers. So Vote Riders, we have a lot of resources on our website at headcount.org/votewithpride, and Vote Riders has a helpline that you can call or text into that will provide free legal support and all the financial support needed to go through the process of updating your ID in all of our 50 states.
Wow, thank you so much for that, Miranda. That was a mouthful. You got it all in. I love it. And it's, it's Pride season here. Thankful. We love Pride. We love Pride season. So talk to me a little bit. We're reaching out to do all this. Pride month is almost over though. So will these resources still be around in November?
Yeah, absolutely. It's so important that these are resources that live on our site all year round, every single month. People need this kind of support. And especially, when you're in the field like Chris, it's so important that people have these resources at their fingertips. So this is something that will be on HeadCount's website at headcount.org/pride 24/7, 365, all months of the year.
Great. And Chris, talk to me about here, in the DC space, especially because, especially the DMV altogether, because we know that there are elections happening this year in Virginia because they have elections all year. Talk to us about the importance of getting registered to vote, and especially for our LGBT community to have everything in place to be ready to vote.
Well, it's so important because, well, especially this year because it's all local elections. I mean, Virginia is the gubernatorial, but everywhere there's local elections, and that's what most affects your life. I mean, most of these issues that people face on a day-to-day basis start at the state and local level, and so having everything in place is, I mean, it's becoming cliche to say it's more important now than ever to make your voice heard because that's every election these days. But yeah, but again, it's more important than ever. And I mean, if you're facing some of the issues that Miranda spoke about, I mean, you might want to consider absentee voting. I know in Virginia, we were able to request absentee ballots for the rest of the calendar year. So I was covered for my primaries, and I'll be getting another absentee ballot in November. But I mean, that's definitely one way to have to avoid going in person and having an ID situation.
Yes. Certainly, certainly, certainly. And so it's so important. And thankfully, here at Team Rayceen, I'm so happy that we've been in collaboration with HeadCount for quite a while. And we also want to remind our viewers that if you want to get registered to vote, if you want to check your status, all of that, you can go ahead and just text Team Rayceen to 40649. Once again, that's Team Rayceen to 40649. Such a pleasure having both of you join us here today. It's been everything. And remember, everyone, vote with pride. Thanks for coming and thanks for being here. And to our viewers, thank you for watching. We would like to thank our production sponsors, Whitman Walker Health and Bite the Fruit, for continuously supporting Team Rayceen Productions. Thank you.